mañana. El podcast de la raza.
Tuesday, September 5th. This your boy Chingo Bling. Who else do we have in here?
Marisol.
Joseph Alvarez.
Adrian De La Garza.
This is the staff and cast of CBTV. And as you guys know, Harvey just hit Houston bad. And me and Marisol, we just got back in town. We missed it because we had to go to Washington, D.C.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't been back in 2 weeks, 1 week. How long has it been?
Yeah, it's been 2
week and a
weeks.
half.
It's been too long.
Almost 2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So Joseph was stuck in Huntsville.
Yes, sir.
Adrian, where were you? North side?
Yeah, I stuck on the north side, actually.
All right. So we just want to do a recap and just I haven't podcasted in a while. Been slacking in the podcast department. We definitely want to get back on it, but we also had planned on, because CBTV was postponed because the episode was pretty much non-existent. We were like, hey, we should all film. We should film like what we're up to. You know what I mean? Wherever we're at, because we were in Dallas for a little bit. We were in DC, and then had to go to Oxnard where we raised funds. But did y'all get to film anything? We really didn't.
Yeah, I actually got to film a little bit. I mean, it wasn't bad over there. It was just like a normal rainy day, but other than that...
But you couldn't get back.
Yeah. Well, all the freeways were closed, shut down and everything. So, but whenever I did come back, we actually went through the neighborhood and stuff, and everything was flooded. We saw houses that were flooded. I saw a house that was burnt down, and it was crazy. It was hella crazy.
The president was right by your house.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't get to see him or anything, but I heard some whoop. A few streets down that he was there and stuff. I wasn't interested.
Well, I heard you made a few posters that you were holding up, waiting for him to.
I mean, you can see me in the background. No, I'm just playing.
Well, we actually had to take off before the storm came because we were afraid we wouldn't be able to fly out, which is exactly what happened. So we got to Dallas Thursday. We actually didn't make it all the way, y'all. We were so tired. We had to stop halfway.
It was Thursday night?
Thursday night.
The night before the storm came, we were scheduled to fly out early from Houston, right?
Saturday morning.
I guess the day after.
Yeah.
Yeah, 48 hours from there. It's like, hey, 2 days from now, we have to fly out from Houston Hobby to Washington, D.C. I don't think we're going to be able to. So either we're going to cancel D.C., inconvenience the club and the staff, inconvenience the comedians, and, of course, inconvenience the fans. And it's like, that's a lot of people you're inconveniencing. So we said, hey, let's drive to Dallas now, because I had an appearance to do for Bud Light at Bombshells. So as soon as we were done with that, they were like, okay, man, thanks. Everything went cool. Thank you. And I was like, all right, well, we're going home to pack. And then we drove. After we were done packing, which took a little while, drove to Dallas. Almost made it to Dallas. And I was already dozing off.
Yeah, I said, no. That's exactly.
You good?
Listen,
You good?
and I don't. I
good?
can't trust somebody driving at night. I've got that little control issue.
Exactly.
So I kept nah, I can't fall asleep. And then I literally asked you. I said, "Are you okay? Can I just sleep for 30 minutes? And I'm going to set an alarm. I'll wake up." It wasn't even 5 minutes into it. It was I said, pull over. We need to find a hotel. We're not going to make it.
So
we had already booked a hotel,
in
too,
Dallas.
though. In Dallas.
So we lost that.
We
but
lost
it was
that.
for safety purposes. It was probably 3 in the morning, because I'm a lightweight right now. I'm an old man. And then we were still an hour away from Dallas. So we booked some random hotel, and then we had to get up still super early to finish driving into Dallas to catch the plane to D.C. Hung out in D.C. for a few days. Shout out to everybody. They came out to the D.C. Improv. That's my third time.
Yeah.
That's my third time. I've only been doing stand-up 3 years. That's already my third time going there. It's a super cool club.
And Allison at the Improv there is awesome. That manager.
Antoine. Also, shout out to Antoine.
Yeah.
They filmed my set. They filmed it. They gave me they sent me a Dropbox link, so I was able to study that a little bit. But obviously, I'm still working on my set. We've already been tweaking and changing. But the crowd in D.C. is amazing. So they were just generous. I didn't deserve them kind of laughs. But they showed so much love, man. You would think that I've been working on that set for a long time, but no. And then we had to do what? Fly back to Dallas?
We flew back to Dallas.
Dallas was like home base.
Yeah,
Okay.
because we couldn't come back. Same reason. Roads were flooded.
Can't go
We
back
had
to
no idea if our house was good or not.
The car was in Dallas.
The
at
car,
airport.
yeah.
Oh.
So we had to book a hotel in Dallas.
Again.
In communication with his sister, with Dalila. Dalila was kind of basically, usually it's his sister Pat,
Our eyes and ears,
who we
Pat.com.
call Pat.com. But this time it was Dalila, and Dalila was actually the one kind of telling us, hey, no, y'all can't come home. There's
The
no
city
way.
shut down. Like it's
Yeah.
underwater.
Yep.
We didn't get to see that. I know there's still parts right now that haven't dried up. So we flew into Dallas. We stayed at the Belmont,
Yeah, which is pretty cool,
which was an old school hotel in Oak Cliff, where comedian Midnight is from.
Oak Cliff.
And that's my hood. and it's like starting to get a little gentrified in that section, so you could just see like new stuff.
We went to Trinity Grove or something like that.
Yeah, there's
for
this little area
dinner.
called Trinity Grove. We went and had dinner there. We went to check out Deep Ellum, another cool little area that looks like 6th Street. It's just bars and bands and restaurants and stuff. And also, I walked down to the Parlor Barbershop, which is like down the street. And that's where Midnight's brother-in-law works. So I'm getting my hair cut, and everyone in there is talking about like Harvey and all this crazy stuff. And the barber said, hey, tomorrow we're going to a shelter to get free haircuts, and we're taking supplies. I was like, count me in, I'm down. And we got up, went to like Family Dollar, just bought a bunch of toiletries, soaps, just a bunch of random stuff. And went down to East Dallas. The name of the place is Samuel Grand Recreation Center, and that rec center was turned into a shelter. So the guy that's like in charge of that park, they have a tennis court, a gymnasium. Well, the gymnasium now is full of little cots and beds, full of playpens and cribs, which were donated not from the Red Cross, not from FEMA, not taking nothing away from them. It was donated from people in the neighborhood. They told me that ladies in the neighborhood were doing laundry for the people there. A lot of people from Houston. They had like 200 people there. So, they were helping out that way. Some restaurants were coming to bring warm, like hot meals, like catering
Y'all,
lunch.
it was depressing though. Like,
It really
no
was.
joke,
Kids,
man. It was so... It
pets.
broke my heart. I am such a, softie. So I was trying really hard. Not saying that adults don't make me sad, but seeing children just kill me.
Oh, yeah.
So the fact that they took him to the park for an hour to distract him from what was going on, I can only imagine the trauma it's going to cause these children. As they get older, it's something that they're going to remember so vivid. Like, I had to evacuate. My house was flooded. I have no clothes. We had to stay in this shelter.
They got enrolled
The
at the
military
school.
comes in too, so that's even. The military comes in too. That's even crazier. I
Yeah.
saw a lot of military personnel in Katy, everywhere. Marines, Air Force,
Wow.
Coast Guard. Everybody was out there in Katy.
Yeah, it was just really sad to see. Like, just those little cots they had in the gym, and just watching literally we were in the cafeteria, y'all, and like the families sitting together.
Like round tables.
Yeah, round tables. It was almost like they were so like you can tell they were like, damn, we're fucked. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing we're going to be able to do after this. It's basically like, we're going to stick it out here, and then I guess we'll see what happens when we get home. One lady told me she was from Freeport, and she said her entire first floor was gone. She said she was on the second floor was the only thing left, and she only knew that because a family member told her, your house is gone. So she's like, so when I get home, I basically start over because, all I have is the top floor of my house.
Yeah.
It was like crazy though, y'all. It was really, and today actually, picking up Mickey from school, I got to drive down Scarsdale.
Oh yeah, there's
Oh,
a lot
my
of
God.
people have trash and stuff in their front
yeah,
lawns
people
and
are stripping
everything.
more.
Yeah, they're still stripping. Yeah,
Just junk, trash, branches.
just a bunch of stuff.
You know what's crazy, man? While we were in California, the conversation came up with people from out there, and they don't really understand because they have earthquakes, they have fires, they have different stuff. They have a drought. They don't know what a hurricane is, really. So one dude made a little smart aleck comment, like during the meet and greet. I think he was drunk, but he's like, "Oh man, y'all just got a little water, little rain, little water. A little water never hurt nobody. Well, we got fires over here, bro, because the fires were happening over there." And I was like, "Yeah, so I mean, 180,000 homes lost and damaged and flooded, but okay,
400,000 cars total gone."
I saw that footage of, like, I guess the junkyard where they're keeping all those flooded cars.
That's out in Sealy.
Holy smoke. Y'all, today I seriously was driving down Scarsdale and I got a little knot in my throat. Like, I just felt...
Choked up.
I choked up. Like, I was like, I'm usually grateful. Seriously, like, I do this every morning when I wake up. This is what I say. Thank you, God, for another day of life. Thank you for what I have. Thank you for letting me to start another day.
Yeah.
And even more so after seeing that, it's like...
You appreciate
a
warm shower, a hot meal, a roof over your head, just being dry and going to sleep like calm and not worrying about And speaking of like going to sleep in your own bed, I mean, we were gone. I've been gone before because of work, but I hadn't seen my kid, and just seeing the city hurt, and then just like it's an emotional roller coaster, all the social media stuff. So you see like these cool like smiles and people helping each other and unity and positivity, and then you see like the bad stuff too, like all the devastation, and it was on every channel. You know what I mean? It's like you couldn't take your mind off of it because it's home.
Yeah.
And when we finally landed in Dallas and then drove down to Houston and we finally got into the city and you saw the skyline, it was like, all right, this is home. Even though like I bitch about the humidity, the traffic, the heat, stuff like that. But it's still home.
I love Texas. Like, I am Texas proud. Like, I don't... like, all the time. I wear a necklace that has Texas. I have a bracelet that has Texas.
We about to go get Texas tattoo.
Like, that... And you know what's funny? That I always said that was going to be my last tattoo, was a Texas tattoo.
I want Texas.
But I haven't, like... The guy who used to do my tattoos, he's no longer in Houston. So, I'm just not going to let anyone just do it, But it was funny because I was like... Okay, now I really am going to get it. And I kept saying that was going to be my last tattoo, and I just need to go get it done. So for me, it was like, this is home for me. I don't care if it's humid. I don't care if there's traffic. Like, Texas, I love Texas. I really do.
I also saw memes that were trying to explain to out-of-towners just how big the city is. Because some people, when they think Texas, they think Longhorns and cattle and horses. And we're just all in the country. But I saw the memes where it's like it's the fourth largest city. It has millions of people in the population, and then there's the land span of it. It's like I forget what it was. It's like the size of blah 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 with twice the population of Manhattan. Blah blah blah. There's different ways, and then they start breaking down the trillions of gallons of water, like compared to other storms or
other cities.
Mm-hmm.
Other cities would have been gone with that type of rain.
Yeah,
easy.
I actually saw a meme where it's like the flood water, what it would be like in Toronto, and it was like up skyscrapers and stuff like that. So
what? Why? Because is theirs in a dip?
Well, no, I mean it was just like comparing it to a different city.
The amount of gallons and stuff.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
But I've heard the city. Houston was built on top of I know we have bayous. I've always known that, but something about like they filled in some stuff too. I believe Fourth Ward was kind of filled in because it was like not the best real estate in the world. But also Joel Osteen, J.J. Watt. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of other, you know what I mean? And then everybody and their mom has a GoFundMe link, or a lot of people need it for like funerals, like people that drown. And then you have the DACA stuff going on. So some people are getting hit up by like the Trump's decision, supposedly that they're going to take away that Dreamers Act. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't kept up with everything. Supposedly Jeff Sessions made the announcement, and it was one of his campaign promises. So it affects a lot of people in my family and just a lot of people in the Latin community. But a lot of Houstonians. Like I saw a story about a firefighter dude that was out there rescuing people, and he was a recipient of DACA or whatever. And now that's going to, even though he's out here being an American hero, it's going to affect him. I also heard that one of the people that drowned is the dreamer, like a recipient, whatever, of DACA, and his family. Something about they're not allowed in to come in to get the body to bury him. Like just a lot of a lot of different stuff. Obviously, Joel Osteen, which you may see a little something about on CBTV on my YouTube, starring Joseph Alvarez. He's been criticized for years for like just being so rich and having a mega church, and his church being like the stadium where the Houston Rockets used to play, and they bought it in 2005, and he got in all this hot water because the day of the storm, when people were really seeking refuge and stuff, traditionally a church is there open arms no matter what, just based on Christianity or whatever religion you are. And in this case, people went out there. Social media played such a big role in this whole thing. So, for instance, at Lakewood Church, people were out there with cell phones now that we have smartphones with cameras and social media and all this stuff. And they were just filming like, look, their church is not flooded. It's not gonna flood. It's nowhere near flooding. And the doors are locked. Look, we're showing you they're locked. You can't come in. And so people called him out. And so basically the pressure from the people and Twitter made it to where he had to make a statement. He had to make excuses. He had to retract. He had his own crisis to fix. And I tweeted something about, I used him as an example, but I shouldn't have. It was like, now's not the time to nitpick celebrities like Joel Osteen, who you think aren't doing enough. Either help or be quiet. And some people got on me. Like, well, fuck you then, bitch. Goddamn, get off Joe Osteen's nuts.
It's just like, I get it. There are a lot of people out there who are just honestly being crooked. But do you really think we have time to be crooked? I mean, I seriously don't have time to... people saying like, "Oh, how much of that money are you keeping?"
No. I was talking about when I was. It seemed like I was sticking up for Joel Osteen, and some people were like, "Well, you be quiet," because us being on Twitter talking about him forced him to help. Think about how many people got help now. So I had to go back and edit my tweet to take his name out because my point wasn't about him.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. I mean, it was just like you were just trying to say like in a catastrophe that's going on, like
let's
talking
just help
about
first instead of sitting back and being a troll.
And blame it.
And just looking at, well, let me go on Slim Thug's page to see what he helped.
Exactly.
Let me see what JJ Watt is doing. Let me see what Kevin Hart gave. Oh, that's all you gave? And I'm just going to leave a comment. That means that you're not helping. You could be out doing something. My buddy DJ Buddha, who lives in LA now, he's from here, and he actually was like, took the role of dispatcher. Like he was using that, I think it was the Zello app. So there was a crew of rescuers, like civilians, in Southeast Houston. They're probably from Texas City or something. And they had boats, with, a lot of folks down there do. And they decided to come in and start rescuing people out of their houses. And my buddy Buddha, who was in LA, was using social media and like retweeting and reposting like people with addresses. Like, my dad is on dialysis. He's on the second floor. Yeah. The water's creeping up. This is the address. So he would like get on the Zello, and he was guiding these people. He was like their eyes and ears. And he was telling me that they saved like so many families, like a bunch of people just going boat by boat, house by house. And he also said that some of the rescue people ended up dying because they went in some area with water where they got electrocuted. So he almost felt bad, like, damn, man, we told them not to go that way, blah, blah, blah. So this is crazy, man. Yeah, social media played a major role. Like during Katrina, I'm sure Facebook was out, but that was just a whole nother monster.
I don't think it was as... I don't think social media was as big as it is now back in Katrina, definitely. So I don't think so. But another...
It's apples and oranges. It's two different things.
But it's amazing, though, how many people did reach out to help. Like people from El Paso, like that one guy who brought his little, his 18-wheeler. I'm sorry, what was it?
I don't know.
Whatever. He brought a whole truck of it. Yeah. We have another guy from Alabama who's going to come this week and also meeting up with Donkey Boy. We were... Obviously, the warehouse that Chingo has for screen printing isn't as big, so we could only take X amount of donations, which Dalila helped a lot of families. She helped.
My sister and my nephew and like volunteers were helping collect stuff and also making sure it got distributed to people who weren't getting help. So, for example, right there on Scarsdale and 45 South, right there by your house, there's these apartments behind the Dairy Queen.
Yeah.
Well, I guess a lot of undocumented people, like just, like maybe language barrier, for whatever reason, people weren't able to get in there, or they weren't able to get out to go to a shelter or pick up supplies and stuff. So I think my sister and other folks were finding a way to get it to like specific families who won't qualify for FEMA. You know what I mean? Because they don't have the citizenship or the right paperwork.
Yeah, she helped a lot of families. So, shout out to Dalila, too, for holding it down here while,
shout out to Trey the Truth, because he was also like in a canoe and shit, going out with folks, helping people. Because one thing I saw on his post is true that a lot of people don't realize. Although people are donating money to Red Cross or different organizations, or people donating things or whatever the case may be, one of the points he made is some people don't have time to fill out paperwork right now and wait for hope later. It's like some stuff has to get done like right now.
Yeah.
DJ Mr. Rogers, I think even I haven't checked on his Instagram today, but I was sending him people that are like, I have a bunch of supplies, and hey man, call him. Like my buddy from Oklahoma brought a truck full of stuff, and we were out of town. I said, get with Rogers. He's taking it to areas that really, really need it. So if you look at DJ Mr. Rogers on Instagram, he was showing like day by day. Like for instance, we just got word that Wharton, Texas, or Fort Bend out that way, still didn't have water, still didn't have food, still didn't have supplies. They're not receiving the help because, as you said, Adrian, like Coast Guard or whoever, they can't hit everywhere at once. So some people are stuck waiting. And then he also went to Beaumont and Port Arthur. We saw like on Bun B's wife's Instagram one
barbecue out there in Port Arthur.
Yeah, they were passing out
plates.
Yeah, like catering. Like some folks that they know, little catering companies and stuff. I heard Pimp C's son, Pimp C, best rapper in the world ever lived.
You know what I'm saying? His
son had to get rescued. And that's East Texas. So the storm came. It hit all the little towns near Corpus, like Port Aransas, Rockport. I can't remember all the other cities. I think it hit Victoria pretty bad. Flooded the hell out of us. And then went east and devastated Beaumont and Port Arthur. Like they called it the Golden Triangle. I think it's Orange, Texas, right there by Louisiana. And I saw one video, an image. It literally looked like a lake with a little freeway prop, stuck in the middle of it.
Gulf Houston or something like that?
It was like I-10.
Yeah.
And it was like, this is the highway you would normally... This is a major U.S. highway that would take you into these towns going into Louisiana. Just like, an hour or two east of Houston. And it looked crazy because I think one of their levees broke.
Yep.
And talk about Adrian, if you know a thing or two about how those levees and stuff in west, like Katy, northwest.
So
area.
basically, they just fill up the bayous, and once they get filled up, they kind of force it all to a reservoir, and which has a levee. And when it gets to a certain height or a certain, amount of water in this levee, they have to drop the gate because then it'll break the whole entire levee, and then we'll have a big ass problem. But basically, they dropped the levee in certain areas in Katy, and they basically had to have a huge portion of Katy evacuated because everything was underwater. The two-story homes were underwater. It's crazy, everything.
Well, just by Maid Creek, right?
Maid Creek area? Everything on the south side of Houston, basically. So I guess Highway 6 up to Highway 99, which is Grand Parkway. Everything in that area, right before, Briar Forest up to I-10, all that was underwater.
Memorial, too,
Memorial
they say.
Underwater.
Wow,
everything.
Memorial's under. I grew up in that area, too. I went to high school right around there, so I saw a bunch of
your high school was actually a main base for all the FEMA, the care packages, all that. That's where I really saw all the Army, the military, and everybody was at your old high school.
Yeah.
So what Adrian just described is basically, I forget the department of the city that makes this decision. I think it's like the Army Corps of Engineers or something.
I think so, yeah.
But basically, long story short, what he's saying is, hey, we're going to sacrifice this whole area, like neighborhoods and houses. We're literally going to sacrifice them because we're going to go ahead and choose to do a controlled flood.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to flood this area so that this thing doesn't give and floods a larger portion of the city at once, which is what happened in Katrina, where people went to bed. They went to sleep thinking, we made it, we survived. Like, it wasn't that bad, it left. Well, the problem was, Katrina left a lot of rain, and those levees weren't built properly, and they weren't
collapsed, man.
Yeah, so unfortunately, our mayor and our folks, unfortunately, they were able to, and I say unfortunate because it was such a bad thing that happened in Katrina, but people went through it and we learned a thing or two. So like, and that's why I think when Hurricane Rita hit a few years ago, well, it didn't really hit. What did it hit? It like east, like Louisiana maybe? Or I think it hit Lake Charles, stuff like that. So I'm sure they had damage, but a lot of people in Houston were scared as shit because Katrina just happened, right? It was fresh on our minds. Like, people even like northern Mississippi, parts of Mississippi even were like out of power for a long time. They couldn't get to nobody in New Orleans. So when they announced Hurricane Rita, a lot of us chose, including myself, chose to evacuate, which left us as sitting ducks on the freeway. So from Houston, if you're not from here, Houston to Austin is normally a 3-hour drive tops, about 2:45, 2.5 with that left foot, the way I drive. So long story short, we were on that road for I think 24 hours.
Same here.
Where did you go?
We went to Austin.
We were trying to get to San Antonio. It took us a day. I was driving a Suburban. I had a bunch of people in my vehicle, and I was just up, awake, nervous as shit, because we were all thinking, we're not moving, and we think the storm is coming. And because of that, a lot of people were criticizing the mayor and stuff, saying, well, why didn't y'all evacuate? Out-of-towners who don't understand hurricanes are like, well, why didn't y'all leave? Well, why do y'all live there? Wait, you're going back there? Yes, motherfucker, it's the H-Town.
That's not the only crazy thing, though, because like after everything went down and everything settled and all the floods were gone and stuff, the city still had curfew. And I don't know if anybody else has had curfew. Well, in Katy, it's from 10 to 6 a.m. I don't know about Houston itself, but driving on a road that has curfew is a ghost town.
It looks
scary
like
shit, man. It really is.
It's like
scary.
the apocalypse happened or something. I was out like at 3 the other night, and I was just chilling with my friends and stuff like that. So, but anyways, like I was driving around. I was scared to get I was gonna get pulled over, but I just looked around and there was no cars, I just felt alone. Like it was crazy.
True story. And we shouldn't even be comparing a place where the people were in Dallas.
Mm-hmm. The shelter?
The shelter. Y'all, I swear it was like Walking Dead.
Oh, dang.
Wow. Like, that's exactly what it reminded me of.
Because what it is you see like, welcome, come on in, we're setting up. And you just see like people like putting the water and stuff, and you see like people walking around. You know when you went to go meet the governor, like in the show, where they went to the governor's little compound, and you have like people trying to have normalcy, and we have movie night tonight, and we had McAllister's Deli brought us food. And
then they're distributing like the stuff that's being donated, it's being kept in the weight room, and then it's being given like divvied out as needed. Like, see what I'm saying? Like, you just can't. You know how you've seen a lot of pictures where they've just got all this clothes out, and you're just going and pick whatever you want. No, there's it's organized
and
here.
It requires people, manpower,
for sure.
Definitely.
So back to the analogy of Walking Dead. So we're walking in, and that guy Abelardo, I believe his name is. He was the dude in charge, right? He's like, okay, over here
He's the governor.
Yeah, he was the governor, right? He's like, over here we got FEMA set up, doing some paperwork. Over here we got Red Cross, and then in this room we have some medics. And then, hold on, I gotta make an announcement. Hey, if anybody diabetes medicine, whatever, and then they gotta say it in Spanish. Make sure you get with these people. Something about your medication. That's already crazy. And he's just walking around, kind of like, okay, we have some supplies here, almost like they're building a fort, taking refuge, and then guarding supplies. Yeah. So it's trippy.
I could honestly. We had to go. I told Chingo, I said, "Hey, I'm ready to go." Like I just couldn't see it. And then I'm an animal lover, so So then I see a man who's got a little poodle, like my poodle, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, the poodle is trembling galore. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like letting her smell my hand so that I know I'm friendly. And I said, man, she's super nervous. Like, yeah, well, you know, she's having to stay in the shelter. She can't stay because at an animal shelter because she can't stay with them at the shelter. They're not allowed. Okay. So SPCA is sheltering animals as well, which no one really kind of focused on them. It's like no one thinks about them. And I know that animals aren't like humans, but if you're an animal owner, they are your human. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like it hurt. She was scared, and he has to hold her. So he goes and picks her up in the morning from SPCA, and then when it's time for her to go back, because the dog has a curfew, all animals have to be put back at a certain time. Even the dogs. Yeah. Because we got to remember they've got to take dogs and then they put them where they need to go. So they got to be organized as well because they're being the shelter for these pets.
Two things I want to talk about before I forget. We're going to talk about those troll comments with the money that we raised with the link that we have that we're going to give to the Greater Houston Community Fund. So we raised $20,000. Shout out to Combate Americas who matched the first $5,000 that we collected. And they matched it, put us at 10, and then we went and did some shows in Oxnard for charity, and then that took us to the 20. But, you know, people leave little comments because, you know, I get it. Like, everyone and their mom has a link, and then you don't know if you could trust the Red Cross or who's doing what with all this money. You know what I mean? Yeah. People even hit up JJY like, oh, man, who is this guy? How is this legit? People that didn't know he was a football player. But yeah, somebody left a comment. Old people or something. But, like, someone left a comment on mine, like, how much of that are you going to pocket? And I'm like, man, I'm not going to go back and forth with this dude. Like, I did for a second, like, zero, you dumbass. And, like, screenshot, posted it. But then I took it down because I just want to try to keep it positive. As it is, social media is, like, kind of depressing right now. I don't know if it's calmed down, but it was just Harvey. Yeah. I mean, you had to, right? It's like you gotta, if there's a way you can amplify something or post something that's going to help or give information, then it's kind of your job, responsibility. And another thing was some other effects that came from this Harvey thing. For instance, gas apocalypse, which is what they're calling it.
Price gouging.
Gouging. So, for instance, we were in Dallas, people going crazy over the gasoline. They can't get the gasoline. They're waiting in line for gas. Gas pumps are empty. No gas trucks can come into the city. Refineries blew up or are flooded in the Houston area. And I think San Antonio and other parts. But
and Houston also, because Katy.
Yeah.
I know Katy was...
A lot of the gas stations were flooded out, and they weren't telling the people. So people were actually putting water instead of gasoline into their gas tanks and fucking up their car.
Are you kidding?
You know, I swear. And people were actually having their cars stall out, and they would continue letting these people rack up their gas because they were making money in the end. I mean, who cares on their side?
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, a lot of these people didn't have flooded cars. They just got their car fucked up because they put gas in it.
Wow.
I mean, water instead of gas. Yep.
Wow. That's insane. Yeah, it's funny. We had our car in Dallas. I had gone to the gym or something, and I just happened to put gas because I was about to run out of gas. You know, like I was almost on E. So I just decided to go ahead and, let me go fill up, And then next thing you know, I pull up to the hotel, and it's like, excuse me, ma'am. And she goes, did you drive here? And I said, yes. She goes, go put gas in your car now. She's like, they're going to shut down the pumps. And I'm like, oh, I just pumped gas. I swear it was so airhead of me. I was like, no, I just put gas. She goes, no, the pumps are going to be shut down. I know what I'm telling you. But I just coincidentally filled up my tank. And then sure enough, the pumps got shut down in Dallas. It was crazy.
Yeah, I even saw videos of people recording other people in Houston where they were buying cases and cases of water and selling it for $45 for a 24-pack.
Chingo's sister, Dalila, posted something about a store around the corner on Scarsdale or something where the guy was selling a case of water for $25. No. Can you believe that? $25. My thing is how do you go to bed at night?
Just
being scummy,
being selfish.
Exactly.
Especially when people are in need and stuff.
Exactly.
It's just why?
That was the excuse one of the gas station clerks gave was that if it's a time of need, that those people who really need it are going to come and pay the price for it. That's why their price went up. Those who come in and take the gas at that high priced rate are going to suffer because they're buying gas because they don't need it. So therefore, they bump the price up for those who really need it and those who don't.
That's bullshit.
Yeah.
It's so crazy to me.
Yeah,
Like,
all throughout Houston, it was happening. It's crazy. It really is.
yeah, I got one of those troll messages via Instagram, and my answer to them is I go to sleep with a clear conscience every night, So it's like,
Yep.
if you can honestly go to bed being dirty to people like that, I feel sorry for you. I really do.
So, I don't know what our cutoff date. Our goal for the fund that we set up was 50,000.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if we're gonna wait till it hits 25, or we're just gonna I mean, I'm not gonna say end it now or whatever, but we shall see. We gotta recap, make that decision. So I don't know.
We have, yeah. So because we have to go back to working, that's the other thing, It's like you don't want to post anything. You don't want to be insensitive.
I feel bad promoting this Spokane, Washington, September 10th. Tickets on my website now. I feel bad doing that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Tacoma, Washington, at the Tacoma Comedy Club, September 12th. Tickets on my website. I don't want to do that because people are like, dude, how can you do that? Because Harvey's happening. You know what I mean? Hell, we're still under curfew. So, however, if you are from the Portland, Oregon area,
maybe
I'll put this at the beginning, or I'll just put all my dates at the end.
No, seriously. I mean, I told him, I was like, at the end of the day, everybody else is not going through what Texas is going through, So they're living normal lives. It's us right now that are not. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I told him, like, you think your fans from freaking Spokane or Washington are like, all right, cool, bro, I get it. Can you stop posting depressing things?
So when I see, I'm from here. Like, this is home.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be damned if I'm not going to help or do my best.
Of course, yeah.
So, however, I'm not knocking, like, other folks that just are kind of keeping quiet about it. I mean, they're probably not from here, or they probably see it like, hey, I'm not in the business of promoting depressing news and spreading like phone numbers for the Red Cross and information and links and stuff. So a lot of the people who choose we stay out of that. They're just business as usual, and you go on their stuff and you don't see any mention at all. It's just still memes or whatever.
I have to tell y'all something funny that I got on Snapchat.
What's up?
So this morning I posted about vitamins, right, on my Snapchat. Mm-hmm. And so this girl sends me a message that says, I'm so glad you finally changed the subject. She's like, I didn't know how to ask if you were going to talk about anything about fitness. She goes, everything had been about the whole hurricane thing, right? So she's like, but I made my donation to y'all's fund. Like, she wanted me to change the subject, but she also wanted me to know, like, hey, I donated. Before I asked you to change the subject, I did donate. I felt so bad. And she's like, I'm so glad you posted something different that didn't have to just do with, Harvey. Yeah. She's like, I was just like, oh my God. She goes, and then I'd go to Chingo's page. His is also about Harvey. He's like, I guess that's the topic right now. But I felt bad.
It's home. We weren't even here, you know what I'm saying? And, I'm having to call and check on my dad, check on my mom, check on my kid, check on friends, check on, like, is our house good? Check on everything. And so that's going to be top of mind for us, you know what I mean? It's like your city. Like, your city is a bowl right now, and it's just full of water, and it just looks crazy. It looks like a crazy ghost town. There's so much like chaos and panic and
looting,
and just emotions
and looting was crazy.
Looting, bro.
I saw signs, about 6 or 7 signs after it happened, saying "You loot, we shoot." Yeah. It's crazy.
I know for a fact
Spring.
They said
I saw in the Spring area there was a
Memorial.
lot.
They said Memorial area's got signs like Memorial PD is set up shop, and they're just straight like saying, you loot, we shoot, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, not even that. I mean, you'll get shot, but you're still going to pay a hefty price with jail time because they're cracking down on the jail time with people who loot here in Houston.
Oh, it's crazy. Not to get all like into the race thing, but like in the past, I think it was Katrina, where like the media, the media gets criticized, where they'll show like a black dude who grabbed a couple like food items or whatever, and it's like a looter. Like it was, I think, a newspaper, and the headline's like a looter that blah 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 blah, and then they had like a white person who, again, out of survival, grabbed a few items, and it's like. New Orleans resident fighting to survive. You know what I mean? Like it's a double standard or whatever. And then we earlier, we were writing this Joel Osteen rap. I think the word refugee came up or something, and we're like, no, dude. I guess they're using the word evacuees, but for some reason, when Katrina happened in New Orleans, they were throwing around the word refugee, like these people were from a different country.
Yep.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But if you are from the Portland area,
no, real talk though. Can you go ahead and run the dates for?
Yeah, that way,
yeah.
that way, usually we do this at the end or the beginning. All right, so we have Spokane, Washington. This is in a couple days, September 10th. Tacoma, Washington. I haven't been out here for comedy, so I'm super excited. September 12th. Portland, Oregon. We're bringing new material to y'all. It's my first time out there for comedy. September 13th. Ontario, California. We're doing the Improv. That's out there in Orange County. Shout out to my boy Gustavo out there. September 28th. And then I'm super excited about this one. The historic. This is like the oldest comedy club in the country. The Ice House. It's on the east side out there in Pasadena. So all my people in East Los and that whole area, man, Montebello, y'all come through. That's September 29th. Yeah, so hopefully we could... I see it's on there twice on my website.
What's that?
Oh, there's 2 shows?
Well,
7
because
and
it's the
10?
early show and the late show.
Yeah, so the Ice House Pasadena, that's end of September. And then, oh, man, we going back to Denver. Already? How many months ago was that?
Yeah. So we were
6 shows in Denver? How long ago was that? 6 months?
Yeah, it's been 6 months.
Dog. First of all, y'all know it's legal in Denver. So y'all know what I'm going to be doing. October 6th, 7th, 8th.
That's my birthday weekend.
Ooh, in Denver. I'm taking my baby to Denver for her birthday, bitch.
We all know it's for work, but he tries to make me believe that it's for my birthday. He's like, we're going to Denver for your birthday. No, we're going for work, actually.
Addison, Texas. Improv, October 26th. San Antonio, the Countdown City, 210. When I was in college, I used to always look at this place, the River City Comedy Club in the River Center, downtown, and I used to always think, man, it would be so dope to go up there one day and do stand-up. That's November 2nd. And I think we're going to end the year in San Antonio, November 2nd?
Yes,
November,
we are.
Oh, what does it say? 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th?
It's
Nice.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
One show Sunday, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's awesome because I love San Antonio. I went to college there. I lived there for 5 years, and I had a hell of a time. Still have a lot of friends. That's where I started my whole Chingo Bling career. That's where I did public radio. That's when I first started writing raps, and all the folks out there in Military Drive and just in the hood would bump my music, and that's where I started, man. So it feels good to wrap it up there.
What I'm most excited about is that was a comedy club we had been trying to get into, and we finally did it.
Yeah, finally happened.
Yeah.
Also, El Paso. That's actually a promoter. The headliner is Earthquake, and I think Lou Nail's on the lineup.
September 15th, if I'm not mistaken. That's that.
So I'm sure they're promoting heavy out there. But anyway, folks, we haven't been on the podcast game heavy. We haven't been home for 2 weeks. All this Harvey stuff is crazy. And like I said, I wanted everybody here to kind of just share what they went through, where they had to stay. Everybody here in this room has family and friends that they had to check up on, and everybody heard tragic stories and some positive stories as well. And again, I honestly feel, I don't know if y'all agree, like there's this newfound Houston pride. Like there's just a little bit more pride, and like I'm going to get Astros hat, a Texans hat.
Hey, Saints won the Super Bowl when Katrina hit. That's all I can say.
You trying to say
Texas Super Bowl, baby.
Mattress Mac. Shout out to Mattress Mac, man. He's an example of somebody who like jumped in. I've known of Mattress Mac since I was a little bitty kid. He'd come on TV, gallery furniture, really well, save you money. He'd jump up with the money in his hand, and he's got that little.
And he'd be in the mattress, babe. Remember?
He would do all Mattress Mac,
and they got good hot dogs over there.
You know what? I've never even been to a gallery furniture.
What?
Are you
I've been
serious?
to the biggest one, and that's
on 45.
Yeah, the 45
Yeah.
one. Huge.
So us too, and I used used to remember when we used to go there, like to buy furniture when we were younger. It was like the last time I went, it was when their whole food court thing had started where they give you popcorn or something.
Yeah.
And I used to be like, well, what? This is better than Fingers. You guys don't know about Fingers.
No, I
Y'all are
remember
too young.
Fingers.
You
I remember Fingers.
Oh, okay. I was like, what? Why didn't we always come to this place? Fingers ain't got no popcorn, right? It was like...
Yeah, so for everybody out there listening, and if you caught wind of this Mattress Mac guy, this Houston classic old school icon, entrepreneur, business guy. He slangs furniture. He does all kind of promotions and has billboards. And he's always doing things like he'll have bouncies out there for the kids and a little basketball goal, and he'll feed you free hot dogs. Da, 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 da. And he has several stores, and then he delivers like you get your furniture today. And then he put those trucks to use to like deliver goods. He opened up his stores as shelter and brought people in. Used probably a lot of his like warehouse space to like have a lot of supplies. And then who was it? The Coast Guard that he let them sleep
on the beds. Yeah.
On the little showroom
yeah.
where you have like these new beds, which obviously he's gonna lose profits from. Like he probably can't sell those beds. I mean, they were on display anyway.
You can actually, they do showroom sales though. Like you get them for a discounted price because they're on the showroom. You know, so I mean, he's not completely at a loss, but I don't think he cares about that personally.
Yeah, he just did the right thing and he didn't hesitate. Obviously, Joel Osteen kind of hesitated like a little bit, like a day and a half or something.
Oh my God, that poor guy is
yeah,
gonna get it forever.
Supposedly, my sister said that normally his church holds 16,000 people, and that this last Sunday it was only like 1,500, and supposedly half of those people were evacuees. Wow. So basically, he's just getting roasted. The memes, they're going in on this dude. I saw one where he said, "Jesus, take the wheel." I mean, Jesus, take them to Wheeler, which is another church, is a street over here. But yeah, so again, thank y'all for subscribing to the podcast. We're going to get back on these podcast episodes, I promise. We appreciate all the support. Also, if you want to give to our fund that we set up, all the proceeds are going to the Greater Houston Community Fund. It's a thing set up by the mayor and a judge. It's a charity, and it's localized. It's not going to go... the money's not going to go somewhere else. It's a fund set up right here by Houstonians, and
we don't touch the money, guys. Just so y'all know, okay?
Yeah. So right now, last time I checked, it's at almost 21,000, and like I said, we're probably going to close it down just so we can forward it to them.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's it, man. We appreciate the love. The tour's kicking back off. It's good to be home, man. Proud to be from H-Town. And subscribe to the YouTube, man. Adrian and Joseph, they're responsible for a lot of the new stuff that you see, why it's coming out so good and so funny. So shout out to them.
I love the crew.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Because we're loving the crew.
Shout out to the groupies that, may or may not be hitting these guys up. But however, they are in committed relationships.
Shout out to the gilfs.
So all those groupies are shut down. All right, y'all. Appreciate it. Peace out. See y'all later.
Peace.
Chingo Bling por la mañana.